Welcome back to the channel. Today we're working on the E93 M3. We're going to be adding a fuel filter, an inline fuel filter, to protect the injectors on our S65 V8 engine, because we don't want the injectors to get stuck open from debris and causing catastrophic engine damage. So this is a cheap and easy mod that you can do to prolong the life of your engine and give you an extra protection against any debris in your fuel system in the event that your OEM fuel filter is not working properly. We need to get access to this area here, which means we need to remove this intake air box so that we can get access over there. So the intake is out. We have more room here now to take a look at what we need to disconnect, which is right over here. So you want to remove this plastic clip. So you want to remove this C-clip over here. It's gray and it's holding those together. And then before you disconnect this line, make sure you disconnect the battery, just so that you don't get too much fuel coming out of the system. You can also pull a fuse just to make sure you don't lose too much fuel, but I've done this plenty of times and there's not a lot of fuel that comes out, but I am going to get a rag just in case. So the trick is to push this black part that way, push this piece here forward, and then pull it out. And that's how you will release this here. Got it out. And as you can see, not a lot of fuel comes out, which is good. So I got a 10 micron fuel filter. You want 10 microns after the fuel pump so that you can really filter out those fine particulates. And we're going to be following the direction of this arrow. So that fuel is connecting to this line here, which is the rubber fuel line. And we've got some fuel injection hose clamps here, not the worm clamps that slip off easily. When you tighten these AN fittings, you want to make sure that you don't tighten them too much or over tighten too much. So I'm going to just do enough to seal, but again, don't over tighten them. To be safe, I'm going to double clamp it to the OEM hard line over there. Let's give it a shot. So I double clamped it here just so that it doesn't come off. And I also double clamped it over there. So 2 clamps for safety, 4 clamps total. And this line is very flexible, so we can do what we need to hide it and be discreet as possible. Now it's time to put your other end of this quick connect on and tighten the AN fittings so that we can put this one in here, and it just plug and play. No modifications needed. Now go ahead and just plug in your quick connect over here. And now when you pull it, it's not coming off. Don't forget to put on your C-clip too, just to make sure it stays locked. Okay, so I am test fitting the intake to make sure that it works and it fits back in there. And if you look carefully, you can see the fuel filter right underneath this inlet or outlet here. So not too bad overall. Does look nice and OEM with that black colorway. You can get it in different colors as well. But I'm gonna go ahead and take this off and show you what it looks like underneath. So here is the fuel filter. I have it hidden right in this section here, and you can also zip tie the wires, maybe put some heat shielding around all of this over here so that it's not getting too close to the hot exhaust manifold area. So that's probably what I'm going to do, is zip tie all the wires to make them nice and tidy and keep them away from the heat. I'm going to go ahead and also start the car and make sure there's no leaks. Any fuel leaks, we got to make sure we double check now before we go and put everything back together. So everything is installed, no leaks that I saw when we ran the engine idle, and we revved it a little bit to 2,000 RPM, still no leaks. So again, double check it, make sure there is no leaks, because you do not want any fuel heading into your exhaust manifold area. So anyway, I'm going to put the intake back on, and then we'll go take it out for a drive, see if there's any difference in power or flow rate of the fuel pressure. Okay, everything is back on. Intake is back, airbox, glass plenum, and you might be able to barely see the fuel filter right over there. This is a mod that you do for peace of mind. I've already changed the injectors. Now I'm adding this inline fuel filter to make sure that the engine does not hydrolock from excessive gas with a leaky or stuck open injector. So you do this mod for peace of mind. We're gonna go ahead and take it for a drive now, see if there's any difference in how it rides. If you're wondering what this screen is over here, this is my Ultra gauge with a custom magnetic mount. So it's a magnet, I can pull it on and off. And it connects to the OBD2 port, so it's very useful. I like having all these numbers that tells me how the engine's doing, including the fuel rail pressure, timing information, engine temperature, ambient temperature, and even the intake air temperature. So very useful to have. Another feature I like is that you can check your error codes. So let's go ahead and see if we have any. So right now we have no error codes, 0. So that is a good sign. So yeah, overall I like being able to drive and have all my information that I need here, including my Apple CarPlay right there. Everything is just accessible, and it's a good driving experience in here. It doesn't feel too dated or old, despite this car being 14 years old. So far, just driving normally, it seems to be cruising at around 57.4 psi. And then when you downshift, it goes up to about 90 psi. So that's about the highest that it spikes to. Yeah, right there, 90 psi when you downshift. And then normal driving, right around that 57 range. So those pulls felt good. I didn't feel any power loss. The fuel pressures topped out at about 109 psi at full throttle. Didn't go right above that. So I think the fuel filter is doing great. It's allowing high flow, just enough for full power. And overall, this product gives me peace of mind that my engine's not going to blow because the injector's getting clogged. So there is the fuel filter. So I'm checking to see if the fuel filter came loose at all, and looks like the Sharpie mark is still where it was originally, so the hose clamp is not moving. So definitely do not use your traditional worm clamp. You want to use these higher pressure fuel injection hose clamps. Okay, so I've just removed the filter from the car. Pretty simple. It's been about 2 weeks. We're going to go ahead and open this filter up and see if there's any debris inside, and this will also show you how to change the filter if you would like to. And here is the filter. You can see in here there's a spring mechanism that holds it in. To replace this filter, just pop it off from here, and then we can take a nice look inside of this filter to see if there's any debris inside. And it looks very clear in there. No issues so far. So I'm going to continue to use this filter since it's still in good condition. Just wanted to show you what's inside here. Let's go ahead and put this back on the car. So overall, I think it's well worth it to do this for peace of mind. There's no con to putting an inline filter for the fuel line. I think it helps keep the engine safe, the injectors running smoothly, and it's much cheaper and quicker to replace or to add this on than to replace the fuel filter and the fuel pump in the back seats. If you want to still do those, you definitely can, but I feel like this car is totally fine and doesn't have any issues. I've already done the injectors. I just did this for peace of mind. Just wanted to share this with you guys. Please comment down below if you found it helpful or if you have any other tips or anything else to add. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys on the next video. Have a good evening.